long story short, it's just thinking about that. When are you going to have a period or end of your phrase, or when are you going to end your phrase with a question?
Mark, could you tell us about your quote unquote phrase construction methodology?
The phrasing is, let's just say phrase length or starting and finishing is, well, a lot of that depends on the tune and depends on the rhythm section or the person I'm playing with. So let's say with Larry. Because I don't think about doing that, playing the same way with everyone. I want to play phrases that go with the music, or at least add something to it. So that's one thing. For example, if something feels very evenly phrased in terms of where the harmony lands, let's say everything is in 4 and 8 bar phrases, that I might take advantage of that, and what I might play with the phrases. And then I might also not play with the phrases, but not in a way that's uncomfortable, but something so that you feel a sense of anticipation. And also maybe you feel a sense of, hey, well, now he's not playing, what's going to happen, for example. As opposed to, let's say, if you play a standard, always playing 4 and 8 bar phrases all the time. After a while, you can't play a longer solo if you can, but it could become, it's hard to build a story, it might get a little tiring, right? Another thing is if the phrases are uneven, one thing is just playing with the phrases of the harmony just to see what the harmony is asking you to do. And the other thing would be saying, okay, I see where the harmony lands and what it wants to do. So now you might want to think about getting questions and answers. Questions might be, for example, not resolving where the harmony wants to resolve. Maybe starting your phrase on a cadence instead of starting your phrase on a tonic chord, for example, and then vice versa. Just going back and forth between those two things. Another thing to think about is one is just try to play as long phrases as possible. It's important to think about where you start and where you end. So one is, of course, you can start, let's say we're playing the tune we just played, which is all the things you are. You can think about playing, let's say you decide to play a long phrase, let's say an 8 bar phrase, and you play all the way until you get to the C minor. So you might decide to play into it a little bit and then end. It's nice. One thing is to end your phrases on dominant chords and end your phrases on a tonic, because that gives expectation, right? What's going to happen. If you finish on a, let's say you finish on B flat, then your phrase is finished. It's like a period at the end. Long story short, it's just thinking about that. Like, when are you going to have a period or end of your phrase, or when are you going to end your phrase with a question, right? If you play long phrase, think about where you start. You might want to start. It's sometimes more exciting when you start on a tonic. For example, you might start on the A flat major. Maybe Larry's playing for a while and start at that point. Normally on that kind of tune, you start playing somewhere in the tonic so that on the 2 or 5, so you land. So I'm going to try starting where you land. It gives you a launch point. And usually the rhythm section hears that. They hear it and say, oh, wait a minute. They kind of help you along, I find, most of the time. So another thing is, well, you can try to play uneven phrases. I wouldn't say do it just to do it, but you can try to, just for fun, to see and try to make it sound good. So you're landing in good places and starting in places. When I say good, I just mean places that feel good to you. Try to play a 7 bar phrase or a 10 bar phrase. And that can include rest, so the phrase could be like, maybe you play for 8 bars and rest 2. Just keep that going throughout the tune, 7 bars. Maybe you rest 2 bars. You might want to rest 3, play 4, rest 3.